have we been driving change at Joju when it comes to EV charging to support the shift to a decarbonised society?
Well, Jenna, I think it's a really good question, because I think ultimately Joju is all about change. So that was why Joju was founded, to tackle the climate emergency. But also there's some parts of that as well, which I think we forget about, and that is about, improving public health as well. And, reducing emissions has a positive public health outcome in terms of people with respiratory illnesses, etc. So I think it's not just about the kind of global carbon dioxide reduction, which is obviously really important in tackling climate change. It's very much about, improving people's lives as well. So I think that, we make sure that there's charging capacity available where it's required. We've gone about that by working with local authorities, other public bodies, as well as the private sector, where they can bring funding in to support that transition to electric vehicles. So, part of what we've done is to work very closely, and what we're good at, I think, is working very closely with our local government partners to identify their local need, and then to look at what is required for those particular locations. So I think what's really important with EVs is to recognise that there's lots of different speed of chargers, and sometimes it takes a little bit to get your head around. But if you're parking up for a long period of time, then a very low powered charger is really suitable for what you will need. So you can charge overnight, or if you haven't got your own off-street parking and you haven't got your own charger, then you can actually find somewhere to charge over a longer period of time. And then you can get in your car in the morning and you've got a full charge and you can go about your business. Similarly for en route, so longer distance as well. Yes, you need to charge an EV, although the battery capacity is getting better all the time.
Yes.
And so range anxiety is becoming really a thing of the past because of the sheer number now of rapid chargers en route, where you can stop off for a charge, plug in for 20, 25 minutes, get an 80% charge and go on your way. So what we've also been doing, Jenna, is working with our private sector funders and also public sector local authorities to look at installing rapid charging hubs. So in particular, I've been working with Dorset, Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole and New Forest District Council on making available rapid charging hubs, which are mainly on arterial routes, but also some destinations as well. So we've just commissioned Lodmore Car Park in Weymouth. So that's 8 rapid sockets in a designed rapid charging hub, which is close to local amenities and just supports people when they need to stop off, have a coffee, and also just get quite a rapid charge on their car to go about their journey. So we've been working with our partners to look at where we can, install those appropriate types of chargers in those locations where they're required, and we'll assist, people to make the choice really to jump from internal combustion engine vehicles to EV, which is going to be better for everyone in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it does take a little bit of planning on your journey, doesn't it, for you to look at where you're going, find your EV charger that you might want to stop at. But actually, when you're going a long distance, you need to be stopping anyway, don't you?
You do. And I think people forget that. People say, well, I need 800 miles in my tank. Well, actually, when was the last time you travelled 800 miles without needing a coffee or a wee, basically?
Exactly.
So I think that there's additional benefit to EVs, in my view, and that is that actually it forces people to slow down and to take a break. And I think that's a really positive impact of EVs. While you're charging, people are interested. Well, quite often people will ask you, how you're getting on with your EV. And,
yes.
So there's a nice sort of interactive feel to it as well. But I think the important thing to get across, Jenna, is that there's now so many rapid charging points on main arterial routes and also destinations now as well, where you can be confident that, you can jump in your EV, you can charge it up overnight, wherever you live, or on a public charger locally. And you can then, start your journey and that there's going to be a charger available and working, more importantly, on the way, so that, you can stop, recharge your car and get on your way.
Yeah, and recharge your own batteries to make the road a safer place as well, because nobody should be driving when they're tired, should they, as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But from your point of view, Rob, you've mentioned working with public sector organisations and businesses to drive this change. How positive do you feel about it, working with these sectors in this way?
Yeah, I think it's a really positive thing. There's no doubt about it. Local authorities, public bodies need support in this transition. It is a massive transition. We also work with blue light, fire and rescue, police in upgrading their fleet to EVs. And we can bring expertise, because we've been in the field for quite a long time now. We have an experience of working with distribution network operators, DNOs, about increasing capacity, getting supplies connected. But we also have, close contact with the private sector where they've got solutions to all of these challenges. So actually bringing to everyone together to have a conversation about that and what's required is a really positive thing.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And what would you say finally to anyone who's thinking about getting an electric vehicle who hasn't yet made that switch?
I would encourage them to make the jump. They're getting cheaper. Obviously, there's now an EV car grant as well, which you can go towards your car. There's still lease options as well. It's always worth remembering there's lease options, so you don't have to buy it outright. But I think there's never been a better time. And also, I think just from a kind of personal experience, it's a better driving experience. It's much nicer than driving a petrol or diesel vehicle. And you can be assured now that organisations like ours and others are trying to make sure that there's enough charging infrastructure in place to support you in your everyday journeys. So I would say try it. Go out to a car dealership, give it a go, get in one, see what it's like to drive. And I honestly don't think you will look back. I think you will see it as a very, very positive step.